You're listening to Chillworthy,
a podcast where two best friends discuss mysteries, murders, and anything in between for your enjoyment.
So if you're ready to hear some chilling and unsettling cases, you're in the right place. Happy listening.
Hello. Welcome back to our podcast, Chillworthy, with Brent and Talia.
Hi, everybody.
So, in honor of Friday the 13th that just recently passed, we decided we're going to switch places in how we speak in today's episode, just for the intro, though. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And then when we get into the topic, we will go back to ourselves. So, how are you doing?
I'm very well, and how are you?
Fine.
Good.
Did you?
Oh my God! Yes,
read
books.
Any
Books. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So okay,
Don't forget, we're gonna keep this to 15 minutes.
I don't want to do that. Okay, so yes, I read one book. It's by that same author, Noelle Aili.
Right.
Just not really a fan of this one.
You didn't really like it?
No, I didn't. I gave it 2.5 stars.
Wow.
It was fine.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. You wouldn't recommend it?
I think for like maybe a new thriller writer, maybe, but it was
Reader, you mean?
Yes. It was just very predictable. Yeah. I knew exactly what was happening right from the beginning.
You don't like that.
And I don't like it. I just don't like it, man.
That's fine.
So yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
Oh, okay.
It's a rainy day out. Super cozy. What about you?
Yeah, I read some. I finished Golden Girl by...
You did.
By that author that you are not interested in, the seashore writer, Ellen Hilderbrand, which I just learned today how to actually say her name. The mutual friend that I always reference, that I decided the jig is up, Erica, is my friend who I always identify as that. So we always go back and forth. We both like her, and we always go back and forth on, how do you actually pronounce her name? Because of how it's spelled, it's E.
Oh, I almost spilled my water. Oh. Sorry.
The way it's spelled. Are you okay over there? Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Is Elin. So we thought, is it Elin? I don't know. It's actually Ellen. And for anyone who's into her, I then realized today, or discovered, she has a podcast called Book, Speech, and Beyond, and I found it on Apple Podcasts, but it's her and this guy that she referred to as her work husband, and I guess they interview authors, like well-known authors on there. They obviously talk about new books, so if anybody is interested in that. Also in this book, so I'd say a 3. Like, it was interesting concept. The woman passes away. She's talking to us from the afterlife. That's, that's early on, so,
I got the chills.
Chillworthy. But what I wanted to tell you that I thought you would really enjoy, this fun fact, is that while I was reading it, the one character goes on a book tour.
A tour?
Yeah. And she starts naming the different states and I guess like well-known independent bookstores that she's making like appearances in. And she mentions by name Browse About Books and Bethany Beach Books.
Oh, shit.
And I got very excited and I had to tell you about it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. So the audiobook, The Life We Bury by Alan Eskins, finished that gave that 3 stars like the other audiobook. And like I said to you, I just don't know if audiobooks are for me. I don't know if every audiobook is just going to automatically get 3 stars. I don't know. I think I would have enjoyed that one better as a real book, like to read. But it was
Sorry,
fine.
I was watching the snails.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, you like what you like, man.
Right. So that's it.
All right.
Did you notice the full moon this week?
Knee.
It was a strawberry moon. I didn't either. Did you see the shirt I'm wearing?
Yeah, I did.
It's my Jaws shirt.
Right.
My mom just got it for me. I was most excited. You know, it's the 50th anniversary of Jaws.
It is?
And
50 years?
I know. And she got me the hardcover, which, like I told you, I think last time.
Hardcover.
I was just going to read it, from Libby, but it has like mention, or makes mention, I should say, on the cover that it's the 50th anniversary. I think I'm going to start it this week if it's hot out.
Do you know what the weather's going to be?
I did check, and
You did.
It looks as though, 80s, but some rain.
I think that'll be nice.
All right, so we'll see.
I gotta stop. I'm exhausted.
You need to say that on here.
I am. I didn't stop it. I'm exhausted. Now I'm sweating.
Oh my God.
I can't keep being you.
Good job, man. Good job.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, we're back. Back in action. All right.
All right. Well, that was wild. Absolutely wild.
Did anything spooky happen to you on Friday the 13th that you recall?
Oh, I thought you meant while I was being you. That I recall? No.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah. Well,
what? Tell me.
It's not spooky to me, but it would be spooky to you.
Oh, Jesus. So then somebody, I guess, knocked on the door.
Well, I normally don't have Marmalade sleep with me.
Right.
But Friday night, just for some reason, I was like, it's I'm going to go to bed a little bit early. It was kind of like a little bit muggy downstairs.
Right.
So I thought, and of course I have the air on in my room. So I was like, you know what? She's being good. She can just come up and whatever, as long as I don't get her completely used to not going into her crate at night, because she is a very good girl in her crate.
Good girl, bad girl. Right. A nice treat.
Right. So she...
Slumber party.
Right. Yeah, I said we're going to have a sleepover, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, my gosh.
So, we go up, she's in bed, whatever. But she did start lowly barking at 3 a.m.
I just got the chills.
Chillworthy. Just kind of like looking
random
in the room. Yeah.
Oh, no. Although, I will say...
I'm just saying it was Friday. Well, technically, I guess it was Saturday the 14th at that point.
You're sure it was past... Oh, yeah, you did just say that. The inside the room barking, I will always take, though, over danger. Something appears to be outside that's rustling or whatever. Inside the room, I mean,
Well, I thought you would think it was a ghost.
Correct.
Right.
Exactly. So, and I will take...
Well, you said spooky, not dangerous. Spooky.
Sorry. Yes.
It's all right.
Right. So
what the hell happened to you?
There was some wildness on Friday.
I doubt it.
But all's well that ends well. And I'm happy. It turned
You got a
out...
call from an unknown number? Somebody was asking you about your car insurance?
Just had to sort through some things. And it truly... Well, so first off, I think when I woke up that day, I was thinking to myself,
I'm grateful I have arms.
Right, which we have to do that segment.
I know, we haven't.
Yes.
And we're only 9 minutes in so far.
Zip a zip.
But keep it moving.
Yes.
A zip a zip.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I sort of think of it as like, forgive me, but Scary Mary. Something that has negativity associated with it, I think can be like a positive, you know, kind of like profound awakening or like a jolt sort of to your system kind of thing. And also it reminds me of like moon cycles. Like people associate such negativity with moon cycles, especially the full moon. And, oh, that's when, like, the crazies are out, and this is when this is happening, and bad, and...
Weirdos.
Right. And I hate that negative connotation, and I was thinking with Friday the 13th that day, like, you know, it doesn't have to be bad.
Of course not.
A little wild, a little wonky.
A little wild. A little bit Alexis.
So, yeah, it turned out to be a fine day that I was very grateful for.
Well, wonderful. So do you want to take us into whatever floats your boat?
Probably, you know, sharks, I think. You know, we'll stay with that theme. Do you remember the great white Mary Lee? I'm not joking. I'm being serious.
I know you're not joking, but absolutely not.
All right. Well, she was a great white who is believed to probably still be alive. I forget when I looked it up this week. Like, she popped into my head, and I just wanted to check in because
why not?
she would be mentioned a lot during Shark Weeks, and like there was a tracker on her.
I've never watched Shark Week ever in my life. I don't know what goes on Shark Week. None of that is of my
jaw just
caliber.
Continuously pops as it's gaping open. My mouth gaping open at you saying that. You have never, not even like, oh.
No, whatever you're about to say, no.
Wow.
It's not for me.
Even when you were a kid?
No.
God, that's when it all started, the love. Well, it's basically, I mean, it's changed over the years. I will say I enjoyed it more as a child, but really, who am I kidding? I freaking love it as an adult, so I suppose that's a bunch of malarkey. But it's basically like shark show after shark show after shark show of like different breeds of them, like mannerisms, behavior, how they look differently, like these marine biologists who will go out on these boats and like try to not catch them, but like basically temporarily catch them in order to tag them. And Mary Lee, her battery just died. So it was an article that I found that was saying like there's like speculation that she died, and the man who, I don't know, he's like in charge of this program, he named her after his mother. That's his mother's Mary Lee. And he was like, no, like, I definitely think she's still with us. And I mean, she was popping up a lot in New England. Like, she was, you know, all over the place, also the Carolinas. But it's just a shame, like her, you know, the battery died. They can't track her anymore. But she has very distinct markings on her dorsal fin and like a notch in it. So he was saying that, you know, if they were to find her again or come across her, she would be pretty easy to identify. And she was beautiful.
Remember.
Oh, speaking of that.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
Oh my God, she had
oh my goodness,
these white milky spots on her sides. She was gorgeous. It said she was 15 feet. She was a big girl. Big-o. I want to say 3,000 pounds, maybe 1,300 pounds, but I'm pretty sure it was 3,000. She was a big girl. That just reminded me of what you said. I did watch, well, I didn't finish it, but I did start Jurassic World, how I said, I think last time, how like it's summertime, I'm really in the mood to watch it. It's such a good movie. I'll be finishing it this evening. Anyway.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It is.
Obviously, the nod to the very first one, that it's so heavy in that, is, I think, why it's like my second favorite.
And how that one of the kids on the ram going into the park, like in the first couple of scenes, is reading Dr. Malcolm's book, Chaos Theory.
Absolutely. Which reminds me real quick, you just brought up about, did we talk about that last time, how the new Jurassic Park is? I think we did.
We did. They don't need to hear
that
again.
Up again, right? So yeah, I would say I'm just grateful for sharks. I think they get a bad rap. I get why, but I just think they're extremely misunderstood. And as I've told you many times, I don't know if I've ever said it on this podcast, I would love to come into contact with one.
You have said.
Yes. And I would hope that they could sense in me, I come in peace. I just want to bop them. Like, I just want to touch their little cheekies, a nose bop, and be on my way. And I know if
all
it
right,
were...
well, that's all the time we've got.
What are you thankful for?
I don't have time, I guess.
Oh, get out of here. You sure do. Tell a nice story.
I don't have a story.
Well, make one up.
What I like, see, you...
You are.
Something that I enjoy, that floats my boat.
Yeah.
When you're in a drive-thru.
I thought you were going to say when you're not here.
When you're in a drive-thru and they have the first window is cut into the corner. I love that.
I don't think I follow.
It's like instead of you going around the side of the building, the corner is cut out, and that's where the window is. Do you get the hell what I'm saying? Instead of a square of the building,
flush with the wall,
the corner then is diagonal. So when you turn the car, you're in. Oh my god!
You may have to draw this, and I'm not joking. So. All right.
You start to drive.
Wait, here, let's do this. This is a corner. Let's do this here at the table. Okay. So this is the window. Or no. This is the speaker phone. All right. So you're pulling straight away.
Right. As you start to turn, the window is there, right there. It's
so
cut
you have to do it anyway.
I'm just saying, I love that you maximize that space.
I don't think I've ever seen this.
Absolutely, you
I thought you were going to say that I haven't. I was like, well, I obviously haven't.
Well, I think that chillers will understand what I'm saying, but I just love when the first window is cut into the corner of the building.
It's all about the little things,
I
man.
think it's fantastic.
Conveniences, yes.
So, yeah,
I think that was nice. That was a nice, unique one.
I
totally didn't think you were going to say
more where that came from. As you say. So, all right, now everybody, it's Talia's turn to present the case today. So, I'm just gonna sit back and let her do it.
Well, and the topic today is related to how we started this.
No,
I did mythology, what's the word? Superstition surrounding Friday the 13th.
The lore,
right.
Well, let's hear it.
Alrighty. Real quick, I also wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
When I was walking the dogs last night, I stopped. Well, they stopped. I stopped. And, they're snurfing around. And this smell, hit me. I couldn't place it. It wasn't like a fire that someone was having. It was I just couldn't place it. And it was cool last night.
Now, could you place it?
And, so people's windows were open. Guess what it was? Freaking incense.
Oh.
Coming through the windows. Or coming out the windows. It was so lovely and refreshing. Also wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
That I had a complete hysterical moment on Friday evening when I was outside and I saw the first lightning bug of the season. I was incredibly moved, raced in the house, began sobbing to Ashley, and then Erica and I are talking yesterday and she told me, did you know they're going to be extinct?
I sure did.
You freaking knew that. I did not.
I hope not soon.
Well, she sent me an article, and it had you sign in through.
Because it had you sign a waiver
through National Geographic, but for your Disney Plus account, which apparently I did do. But then when I just tried to go into it, it's not letting me in. So scratch that, TBD until later. But it's pesticide related, correct?
Oh, shocker! No, I don't freaking know.
Exactly.
You mean it has something to do with humans?
Ruining things? Yes.
Get the hell out of here.
And because I was saying to her, I told her the story, and I was there was only one though. I was, gawking, looking for more, and there were none. And I do think this was still a little early too, but how absolutely depressing.
They should have firefly farms.
Agreed.
I think that would be wonderful.
Interesting concept. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay, now related to the topic. Do you believe in Friday the 13th?
I was going to say, do you believe in fireflies? Yes, I do. I mean, I think they are
among us.
I think they're my favorite bug, really.
Are they?
I mean, I'm not a huge bug fan of things in
Correct.
general.
Right.
Obviously, you know, there are a few exceptions. But
Wait. You mean,
Sorry?
what do you mean?
Like, there are a few bugs that are cool with
Yes.
me.
Yeah. Right.
You know, the butterfly,
Yeah.
the moth,
Yeah, of course.
the fuzzy little caterpillars.
Right. They used to fall on my head as a child in this cemetery that our family members were in that I loved playing at the cemetery. There was a huge hill. I just loved wandering around there, and they had these freaking big old furry boys, and they would just drop from the trees right onto your head.
Sounds magical. Ladybugs are obviously completely fine.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I mean, then I think...
I can't believe you didn't say the praying mantis. How dare you?
I wouldn't say that's...
Really?
No, I mean, they're okay, but like, I wouldn't want to see one on my leg. I'll tell you that.
That would be a moment
Everything
in
else I
history.
just spoke of, I would see on my leg and I would be cool with.
The caterpillar.
Yes.
How do you say it?
I used to collect them when I was little.
I'm sorry?
I mean, let
Alive.
them go then, obviously.
Right.
I liked the gray ones. There were brown ones and gray ones.
Never saw gray.
Fuzzy.
You're talking all fuzzy, though.
I am talking that, yeah.
Not non-fuzzy.
If you can believe it.
Did you like earthworms? I freaking was obsessed
I mean,
with
not
them as a
particularly.
child. Yeah.
Point is, I think fireflies are probably my fave. And like I said, I remember I said this about a year ago, and that was before, so, you know, because I did get a tattoo from when I said, I never thought I'd get a tattoo, and here I am with a tattoo. But I have saved multiple pictures of fireflies in case I ever do go that route of having a couple of fireflies, you know.
Intermingled on there.
Right, bits and bobs around. And I specifically looked up the Pennsylvania firefly, because there are different ones.
Interesting.
So yeah, you know, I'm prepared.
What is different about that one? Like, what does it look like? Like,
It's just the type of firefly that's here, like, you know, because they're in the beetle family, I guess.
interesting. I did not know that.
But anyway.
You know, that makes sense, though, when you think of how their wings open. Because very similar to the ladybug, and who's a beetle.
Is she?
She is.
So yeah. But
Do you remember what?
I was gonna say, so what is the actual question that you've asked me? Do I believe in Friday the 13th?
No, I don't want to talk about that yet. Do you remember years ago when we were in Rehoboth? I think we had to have been. And there was a praying mantis that came to me on a blanket.
Vaguely. I remember you got like beach fleas or something once.
I did not get
Beach flea bites. I remember that.
Did
They
I?
were on your ankles.
I got
And
it.
you picked up some ticks.
I was just gonna say, I remember you and I went on a hike, and then we went to the beach, and I had like my leg up on my knee. And
Gross.
I was like, "What's this?" And yeah, I did have a tick. You're absolutely right.
So
I do not remember the beach flea situation. Wasn't that just
you
like
just had little
mosquitoes?
bumps all over. No, I don't think so.
But the praying mantis came to me inside the house on the blanket, and I think one of the guys who was with us was about to dispose of it, and I freaked out and like went on and on how it's illegal. You can't, and it was like a baby. It was a smaller one, and then
Yeah, I remember this.
he corrected himself, and we brought it to
As he should
safety
have.
together.
Yes.
Exactly. It was nice. All right. Yes, Friday the 13th. Now, just like, what are your thoughts on, like, when it hit me earlier last week, like, oh my gosh, we have a Friday the 13th coming. Like, that excites me. Like, I was like, woo, like, I don't know. Like, it just gives me a jolt. And then I don't know what to expect. Is it going to be a crazy day? Is it going to be a fun day? Is it going to be a little bit of a spooky day? Is weird shit going to happen? Like, am I going to feel any different? How's this going to be? Do you think like that?
Not at all.
So
Nothing.
Like not even on your radar, or
I
like,
thought you were going to say not even on your birthday?
but like, or okay, yes, you woke up, you realized it was Friday the 13th, whatever, or
Yes,
literally.
just what you said, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine.
Right. No harm, no foul.
3 stars, it's fine. That's it.
That makes sense. You're speaking a language I understand.
Right.
All right. So I knew nothing about any sort of history or origins.
Get out of here.
I know. I knew that would shook you. So it is primarily because in Western cultures, the origins stem from a combination of historical and religious beliefs, and negative events that have occurred associated with the date of the 13th, but also okay, hold on now. Oh, and actually, I didn't know this, that these particular superstitions are associated with Friday the 13th, and I'm still not clear on how this is exactly, but the breaking a mirror, 13 years of bad luck.
Hell yeah, man.
Walking under...
Unless you bury a piece.
I've never
What do you
heard
mean?
that.
Yeah, if you bury a piece of the glass that you broke, washes it away, baby.
Can that be my next message alert tone? I never heard that. Have you ever? Have you?
I think I have once, a long time ago.
You broke a mirror.
I think I did, yeah, once.
Wow. Where'd you bury the piece? The backyard?
None of your business. None ya.
None
Keep
ya.
it moving. What other superstition?
Walking under a ladder.
Yeah.
I've done that multiple
You
times.
have. I have
the other day in a hospital, there was a ladder. This construction man, we made eye contact. I sort of checked in, can I do this? He didn't say anything, so off I went. And all's well that ends well.
Right.
That one just never got me.
I'm assuming the black cat?
I thought that was going to come up too in this, but it didn't. But spilling of the salt did. And real quick with the cat.
Dumb and Dumber. When he spills it in the diner.
So that's where I went in my head, but I'm still not
He goes, throw that over your shoulder. And then he hits that big trucker man.
Yes, that's exactly the scene I was thinking.
Kick his ass, Seabass.
I hate humor like that, but God, I love that movie. I've loved that movie since I was a kid. That shirt I got you. What does it say on it? I know.
You know what you're something. Yeah, we got no food, we got no money. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Yes, God, that was a good find, and it has the poor little soul on it. Spilling of the salt.
Petey. Just sold some stuff. Like what? Petey. Yeah, to that blind kid down the street.
And then he's petting
I
him.
know.
It's so
Pretty bird. It's horrible.
It is.
That movie, but it is
God,
a
it's
masterpiece.
Good. It is. It really is.
And I think that what's her name? The one with the red hair,
redhead.
who was married to him at one point. I think they were husband and wife when that movie was made. I thought she was so pretty.
Yeah, she's fine. She's
Mary Moon. Okay, anyway, we're never going to get through any of this.
I know. Wait, now the spilling of the salt.
Oh, yeah.
So that one, when I have done it, which you know how I spill literally everything, literally all the time. By the way, one day the other week at work, I spilled my entire freshly filled water cup.
Freshly filled.
All over my lap as I was seated. This shit went through my pants. The whole back of my thigh was soaked. Some random
back of my thigh.
some area by my ankle, and it was unfortunate. It was nearing the end of the day, but then I had to leave.
I get it.
Tons of people walking behind me. I couldn't believe. I was so pissed, and I had just filled it with ice, and you know how I feel about ice. What a freaking waste!
I do.
Oh my God, I was so upset. All right, so spilling salt. So when I've done that, it occurs to me ugh, this isn't good. But then I never know what shoulder. I don't know what you're supposed to do, so I don't do anything. And I also think it's interesting how. Utso. My
what did
entire
you just say
screen
there?
went just blank.
Utso?
Utso.
Thought you were trying to do Scooby-Doo for a second. That ruh-oh. Ruh-roh, Raggy.
I've never been into. I don't know how to get.
I don't know what's happening over there.
On my screen. But with salt, I also think it's interesting how salt is protective. A ring of salt. Around your property, around your... Are you looking at me or something
I'm looking at you, right at you.
So, what's the deal?
I was thinking about that thing. A circle of salt will protect thy victim from thy power.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking of Allison.
Right. Which she completely wasted all that salt. Oh, what a clever little white witch.
We are so in the weeds, it's not even funny. I guess we're not,
This episode is living in the weeds, and that's it.
Fine.
What is there to say about it?
I like it. All right. Just listen now for a minute.
I know I don't do this for you, but just listen.
Oh, that's the Scary Mary episode.
Yeah, that's certainly...
All right, now.
So, I just looked it up, okay? It says spilling salt.
Thank you.
Sure. It's often considered bad luck due to long-standing superstition. It probably originated from the high value of salt in ancient times.
Interesting.
And its association with the devil in some religious contexts. Some people believe that the superstition stems from the depiction of a spilled salt cellar by Judas.
Say that 3 times fast.
Oh, I guess there's spilled salt by Judas in the Last Supper painting.
That is in my freaking thing about 13, the Last Supper. Wait, now I want to do a deep dive on this painting.
And very quickly, an old English belief has it that every grain of salt spilled represents future tears. The Germans believe that whoever spills salt arouses enmity, 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 because it is thought to be the direct act of the devil, the peace disturber.
That is the state or feeling of being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something.
So I guess it says throwing salt over the left shoulder.
Left.
It prevents evil spirits from entering the house, which I'm assuming it's saying when you spill the salt, it has context to the devil and stuff. So it's kind of like when you spill it, you're almost saying, hey, come on in.
Unleashing him like a genie in a bottle.
I'm not sure about that. I think it's more like a beckoning sign. But then when you throw it over your shoulder, you're like,
Change
psych.
of plans.
Like, hey, they're easy.
Right. I just found the widespread superstition about spilling salt, bringing bad luck, is widely believed to originate from Leonardo da Vinci's painting. The spilled salt specifically is interpreted as a symbol of Judas's betrayal of Jesus and foreshadows the bad luck associated with that event, because that's obviously the night before. That's Holy Thursday.
I got it.
Good Friday. Right, but
I just think the Lady Gaga song. I'm in love with Judas.
Never heard it.
Fine. All right.
Now I'm here.
Me too. We're both here, baby.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see this. I mean, God knows my vision's not great. There's Mary Magdalene. Well, where the hell is the spilled?
Spilled.
The spilled.
Where is
salt?
that spilled salt? Steven Spielberg.
Spielberger.
Listen, you got to do this later, man.
Here. I found it. Oh, okay. He's in blue. He's got the beard, and it's right by his wrist. Here,
I see it.
Oh,
I've been seeing it.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
Well, what am I supposed to do? I'm not moving. I'm not moving to walk over and show you. I'm comfortable.
I see it now. All right, here we go. All right.
Okay, so the spilled salt came from Friday the 13th. Okay.
Fine. So the number 13 itself is potentially seen as unlucky because 12 is considered to be a complete number. And then, as in like the standard for our months for the year, 12. There are 12 zodiac signs. I don't really see why that then makes 13 unlucky. Like, I think that was kind of weak as a superstition.
I agree with that, but I also have heard from multiple sources, I can't name any though, that...
Because of confidentiality.
No, because I don't remember. That there used to be 13 months in the year. And something about the Romans because that's the calendar we use, right?
Correct. The Gregorian calendar.
The Romans were, of course, what would the word be? Pompous, arrogant, greedy.
Absolutely.
Whatever. I always loved the Greeks, but that's because of Xena. We won't go there.
And we were just talking about it earlier. Oh, you should have brought that up in the beginning for the intro with that new show. But you and Greek mythology.
Oh, I love Greek mythology, but
what's that show
we're talking
called?
about the Romans.
Is that what the show's called?
Chaos. No, Chaos with this K, everybody. Jeff Goldblum plays Zeus in a Netflix show called Chaos. It's pretty cute. Anyway.
Yes.
But I guess two of the people, Augustus, right? Caesar.
From the Romans, Caesar Augustus.
Whatever. And somebody else wanted bigger months. So they took a month and split it in half and added it to their own month. So like August was named after Augustus or whatever.
Okay.
So he got it like 31 days. And then there was another month that got a lot, like added more days. And then cutie little February's got 28, You're
partial to February.
I am. I love February.
Right. You know what name I enjoy back from all of this with
Nope.
Jesus's crucifixion? Pontius Pilate. I always enjoyed saying that. Pontius Pilate. Doesn't it have a nice ring? I mean, he's a terrible person.
I always thought Mary Magdalene was a very nice name.
Also a good one. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Precisely.
Right. Now, real quick.
There's nothing
God
real
knows
quick
I
about
don't mean
any
that.
of this.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that is what we're talking about.
No, I'm talking about...
Sorry?
The movie. Jason Voorhees, isn't that right?
In my head immediately, I thought you meant Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan, which was Friday the 13th.
Correct.
Also.
Now, there was a Friday the 13th, though, that I loved, and it was the older version. Who's in that? No, Jamie Lee Curtis is in that one you mentioned.
Yeah.
Correct?
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
There was an older one.
I don't know.
Well,
we'll find that out later.
No, I want to know now. Oh, this isn't helpful. I'm freaking typing in Friday the 13th, but it's Freaky Friday. Whoops. Here we go. Ah! Here we go. I knew it. 1976.
Oh my goodness.
I knew it. Jodie Foster. Did I ever see this? Maybe I'm making this up. I thought that was the one that I liked. Now I'm not sure.
That's all right.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Now, back to the horror movie, though. Have you ever seen it?
No.
You haven't?
No.
I have, but many, many years ago. And I do remember being frightened.
Well, all right.
All right. So, Friday the 13th, like we talked about with the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
It happens at least once every year, but can occur up to 3 times in the same year.
2 or 3.
For a month to have a Friday the 13th, the first day of the month must begin on a Sunday. Isn't that fascinating?
That is fascinating.
Are you being funny?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So having a fear of the number 13, just generally speaking, is called, bear with me, triskaidekaphobia, which the trisk means 3, I means end, deca 10, phobia 4.
No. You know what? I would have absolutely just kept rolling with it.
Phobia fear. Jesus, phobia 4. So there was this Stephen King interview I listened to or watched. Just this brief little bit, and he says he has it. He was on Conan O'Brien.
Oh, I'm sure Stephen King is scared of the number 13.
Well,
That don't be so stupid.
it's like a little, I feel like, thing he subscribes to. Like
Subscribes.
I feel like it's a thing. Like we all have our things, and who would have thought he has that as a thing?
But that's like a deep sea diver who's scared of sharks. I mean, that doesn't even make sense.
He referenced hotels, and he's like, you know, how many times do you see, which I feel like this isn't necessarily a thing like it used to be. I remember definitely when I was little, I noticed it more on like elevator buttons.
Hell yeah.
Not having 13. And his thing is like, I stay, which I don't know how this can be with how famous he is and like having to go to book signings or events or whatever surrounding his new releases that are kind of constant. He says that like he doesn't really like staying in hotels because of them having like, he was saying basically you can't avoid it because then if they skip the floor, the 14th is the 13th. You know what I mean? Like you're never not having the 13th floor in a hotel.
Okay, so then just don't stay on the 12th, the 13th, or the 14th floor, for God's sake.
I agree. So whatever. What were you going to say?
I remember that book that we used to have like in middle school, the Wayside School or whatever.
It had like, it was wobbly looking. And
yeah, and they didn't have a 13th floor.
I loved that book. I remember that was on the Scholastic book sales.
Yeah.
I loved that freaking book.
So,
okay. So, another source of this unlucky reputation of the number 13 is a Norse myth about 12 gods having a dinner party in Valhalla. And the trickster god Loki, who was not invited, arrived as the 13th guest to this dinner, which ended up resulting in the death of Balder.
I don't know anything about that mythology.
He's the god of joy and gladness,
Well,
and
that's nice.
well, he was shot with a mistletoe-tipped arrow.
Oh,
Most fascinating. So when Balder died, that triggered the suffering in the world, and then that's where this number 13 being unlucky came through in
that's
their
a bummer there.
mythology. Certainly is. Then it mentions the, Last Supper on Holy Thursday, and that there were 13 individuals in attendance. Judas was the 13th guest that was seated, and, he betrayed Jesus, which led to his death. And that also precipitated people thinking it's bad luck if you're going to have a dinner party to have 13 people in attendance. Like, that's a thing.
Nothing I had to worry about ever.
Get out of here.
Just saying.
You've had parties here. You've had
Not dinner parties.
Okay.
And certainly not for 13 people.
Fine.
There's not a pizza big enough in the world for me to warm up for 13
Oh
people.
my, you're such a storyteller. Like you don't cook.
Oh, yeah.
But that if you apparently have these 13 people, that it could prompt or trigger death or misfortune. So I guess watch out for that.
Wow.
I don't know, man. All right. There's obviously like evidence of both the number 13 and Friday being associated together as unlucky, but there's no record of these two items being referred to together as being like that they're especially unlucky combined before the 19th century. So there was a novel called Friday the 13th. It was published in 1907 by T.W. Lawson, and that contributed to popularizing the superstition. So in the novel, an unscrupulous broker takes advantage of the superstition, and that creates a Wall Street panic that takes place on Friday the 13th. So in other cultures, though, it's, yes, the number 13, but not when it falls on a Friday. Mm-hmm. For instance, in Spanish countries, instead of Friday, it's Tuesday, the 13th.
Tuesday.
And the Greeks also consider Tuesday the 13th. Well, they consider Tuesdays to be unlucky, but especially if it's Tuesday the 13th, that's unlucky.
Doesn't quite have the same ring to it,
Tuesday is considered dominated by the influence of Eris, the god of war. Have you ever heard?
Aries?
That's what I thought too, but it's not spelled like Aries. A-R-E-S. Or is that how you say it?
It's not spelled like Aries. It's spelled like Aries.
Well, Aries, like the zodiac sign, is spelled A-R-I-E-S, not A-R-E-S.
Oh, well, it is Aries.
Is the god of war. Mm-hmm. So that's that Greek mythology you like. That's
he was all over Xena.
Oh.
So beautiful.
Xena.
Aries.
Oh, yes. Right.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Okay. The fall of Constantinople to the Fourth Crusade occurred on Tuesday, April 13th.
Well, who didn't know that?
1204. And this wasn't the 13th, but it was a Tuesday. The fall of Constantinople to the Ottomans, that happened on Tuesday, May 29th, 1453. But
Now,
that
what were the recliners doing during all this? I don't even know who the hell. I don't know what any of these things are that you're talking about.
Because I don't know anything about
Nothing.
history, so that makes me feel better. But
The lazy boys.
That just, I feel like I'm giving a history lesson.
I don't know. I'm not sure what. I don't know what the overarching thing is that we're here for yet.
About Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Okay. So
mythology.
just okay.
I'm about
just
to
the
get to
history
Friday
of
the
it.
17th.
Oh. Now it's gonna get good. This is what we've all been waiting for.
So this second fall of Constantinople just strengthened.
I hope nobody's driving while they're listening to this.
I just said superstition.
Or operating heavy machinery.
It strengthened the superstition about Tuesday. Like, all right. In addition, in Greek, the name of the day, and please pardon me, I'm sure I'm going to be saying this wrong, is treaty, meaning the third day of the week, adding weight to the superstition, since they say bad luck comes
I feel like I'm in a college
threes.
class. Present.
Oh my God. All right. In Italian culture, Friday the 17th is considered a bad luck day. I'm not even going to explain why that is because it's very confusing. So I don't.
Still doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it doesn't. Oh, also back to Tuesday. Tuesday the 13th only happens in months that begin on a Thursday.
All right.
Okay. So all right. So according to the Stress Management Center and Phobia Institute, which is in North Carolina, an estimated 17 to 21 million people in the United States are affected by fear of Friday the 13th specifically.
That's nuts.
It is the most feared day and date in history. They may, like, people who really take it seriously might avoid, like, everyday things and their normal routines, like literally going to work, getting on an airplane, or even like getting out of their bed that day, like in fear that the minute that they do, something insane might happen. It's estimated that in the U.S., $800 to $900 million is lost in business on this date.
That is absurd.
I know. So
that's when I should be going shopping, I guess.
Well,
avoid the crowds.
So in terms of like airlines, Delta and Continental, that now merged into United Airlines, they claim their airlines did not suffer from any noticeable drop in revenue on those Fridays.
Okay.
So they don't agree. A study that took place in 1993 by Scanlon, and Singleton concluded that, quote, the risk of hospital admission as a result of a transport accident may be increased by as much as 52% on the 13th.
Well, I'd like to interject something.
Oh, yes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
According to Google, there are not any more plane crashes on Friday the 13th than any other day. And in fact, statistically
speaking,
right, it's suggested that actually flying on Friday the 13th may be fractionally safer because there actually seems to be less fatal accidents on Friday the 13th.
So I was just about to say, now this was a 2008 study, and it was like an insurance statistics thing from the Netherlands. And they kind of said something similar. They said fewer accidents and reports of fire and theft occur when the 13th of the month falls on a Friday. And they feel that it's because they're staying home, or they're like going out of their way to be more careful. It
They're
doesn't
behaving.
apply, obviously, for airplane rides, but right. Also in the Netherlands, statistically speaking, driving is slightly safer on that date. In the last 2 years, Dutch insurers received reports of an average 7,800 traffic accidents each Friday, but the average fell to 7,500 when the 13th fell on a Friday. So, who the hell knows?
The Dutch.
What?
The Dutch.
Although there is always at least one Friday the 13th per calendar year, it can be as long as 14 months between two Friday the 13ths. There can be no more than 3 Friday the 13ths in a single calendar year.
Right.
That's it.
Oh, that was abrupt.
It was. I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to say to you.
We hit the finish line real quick.
This one, I don't think...
Well, what is it?
Like, who cares? But I didn't know this, but, like, Friday the 13th has kind of emerged as, like, a holiday within the tattoo world. And they run, like, a lot of tattoo shops run, like, specials, like, sales where...
Flash sales.
I was just going to say that, yes. Are you being funny? Like, that's what it's called.
I'm not trying to be funny.
Right. So, like, the flash tattoos where you're not picking it. I mean, you're picking it out, but, like, you're not going in with, like,
they're pre-designed.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then you...
Precisely.
Listen to you, a little freaking tattoo
come on.
expert now. Wow. Fancy schmancy. So... This I had never heard of before. So
You've said that about literally everything. So I'm going to start assuming until you tell me you have heard about it, you've never heard about any of this stuff.
I'm about to be done. This is it. This is legit it now when I'm going to say
I
this.
see.
Yes.
What is it?
So that if you incorporate the number 13 in the tattoo that you're getting, that's going to be on your body forever.
Oh, you incorporate.
Well, sorry, no. Whatever. You get the number 13 on. You get a flash tattoo that has the number 13 incorporated in it. Whatever.
Yes.
That it's an antidote to the bad luck of 13 being an unlucky number.
Hair of the dog.
Basically, yes.
Right.
Like, you're essentially like you have the bad luck on your body already.
Right. Shami.
So it will pass you by. Pash.
Not just pass, but pash.
Extra safe.
Well, pash me the salt then.
Full of pish and vinegar. If you listen to our last 2 episodes, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Well, it's been a wild ride.
Absolutely.
Fun at times, for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, I have a book
Yeah.
that has... I think I told you or showed you this before, but like it has like... It's just an entire book of old superstitions. I feel like I should bring that over to our studio.
Absolutely.
And, you know, that might be something fun to explore every once in a while. I don't know when it was written, but I mean, it seems to be like, I want to say like back in the 1970s, maybe?
Oh, I feel like something like this would be better written then. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry?
Not like written in modern times.
I gotcha.
I think that'll
Not really.
hit deeper, if you will.
So,
We'll be shook.
I don't think we will be. But anyway. All right, well, okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That wraps up today's episode. Everyone, yes, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I was talking to the chillers.
Oh, yes.
For tuning
Thank
in.
you all. Yes.
And we look forward to talking with you all in the next episode. And until then,
stay safe.
And stay chill.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. You've just listened to Chillworthy. Thank you for joining us on this latest episode. While we strive to keep our discussions engaging and lighthearted, we also wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the real lives and events that are at the heart of these stories.
We try to approach each topic with a sense of curiosity and respect,
fully aware of the impact these events have had on the individuals and their loved ones. Our goal is to honor their memories by keeping their stories alive and shedding light on the mysteries that surround them.
If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe, rate, and leave a review, and don't forget to join us on the next episode of Chillworthy.